Brilliant. Hello, Elizabeth. Hello, Elizabeth. Good to
Hi.
see you. Good to see you. Good to
Oh,
see
you
you.
have a.
Yeah,
Did you shave your beard?
I did. Yes, yes. It was
Wow.
in solidarity and support of someone. So okay, I'll do my part.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, I like it. It looks
Oh, thank you,
great.
thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Interesting, interesting. Ah, cool. Yeah, yeah. It's interesting the reactions to it. Like I said, I just did it for solidarity and support, but it doesn't really matter to
Oh.
me one way or the other. But so it was good.
Oh,
It was
that's
good.
so
Yeah,
sweet.
yeah, 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 yeah. Very cool, very cool. So how are you? Everything good with you?
Oh, very good. Thank you. Yeah,
Excellent,
it's beautiful
excellent,
here.
excellent. Oh, good. Oh, good. Oh, good. Good, 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 good.
So how is everything in Portland in general?
Oh, hi, Beena. Oh,
Hello.
very, very good. It's my family is just wonderful to be back together with them, and
Oh, good.
uh,
Oh, good.
it's a beautiful time of year to be here. It's sunny and warm, and there are just millions of different varieties of flowers here that I don't see in the desert. So I'm just enjoying that and the trees, and beautiful.
Wow. Wow.
It's nice up
But
there,
I was
Sorry, go ahead, Bina.
sorry. No, I was just asking you about the political situation there because I saw something in news that still some serious stuff happening.
Yeah,
In Portland?
yeah.
Yes.
Right. Big story. It's on the international news. Is that what you're
Yes.
referring to?
Yes. Yes.
Uh-huh. I actually went down there and was part of the protest with my,
Oh, you're one of the
yes,
Ah.
troublemakers. So you are one of the troublemakers. I always wonder what they look
yes,
like. Now I know. Now I know.
go moms.
Yes. Oh, you went as one of the moms?
Yeah, I went as one of the
Wow.
moms.
So Bina, I don't know if you saw this. This is really huge. So there's the regular protesters, right? And so
Uh-huh.
when they kept on getting lots of trouble from these federal agents, police that are being sent, not the local Portland police that Trump now
Right.
sent there, right? That shouldn't be there, really.
They're troops. They have big
Right,
guns. They're in
right,
full camouflage. They
right,
look like they are in war. I mean,
right,
it's not
right.
Mm.
police officers, no.
So a group got together, moms, and they all have mom T-shirts on to stand between these these federal troops who will come there to now supposedly help and suppress the thing, and meddle in the local affairs, which they shouldn't be doing, and between them and the protesters. So Elizabeth went as one of the moms. That's most awesome, Elizabeth. That's really fantastic.
Thank
So
you.
that's
I
fantastic.
Ah.
Did you get
appreciate
pepper sprayed and everything?
I did. Yes. So
Brilliant, brilliant.
Ah.
Was that your first
my
time, or I don't think so. Somehow I feel it's not your first time,
no,
right?
it was my first
Oh,
time
really?
getting
Oh, wow,
pepper
wow, wow.
sprayed. Yeah.
So,
I mean, I've
so please tell Bina what it's like to be pepper sprayed. Did you get it like really good?
uh it wasn't as bad as I thought it would
So
be
you were on the
because
outskirts then. You weren't like right on the thick of it then.
right, it wasn't like right in my
Yeah.
face, and we were wearing double masks
Oh,
and
okay.
and goggles. I had goggles on.
Oh, so that changes the whole thing if you had the
Right.
goggles on. Yeah, it makes a big difference. Yeah.
Oh
But
yeah,
when you're
I
in the thick of it,
experienced.
it's unbearable. It's
Yeah. Oh
really
yeah.
really dreadful when you're in it. So yeah.
oh, I can tell. There was plenty of people there who didn't have goggles and masks, and they were really hurting. And my daughter and I were, handing out water and washing people's eyes, and it was really something to see. It was very interesting. I'm glad I went, but
Oh,
my daughter's the one who insisted on going, and I said, well,
right.
I'll go with you. And she's a mom too. Her son
Yeah.
is
Oh,
her
brilliant.
partner is Black, and so she's just like
Wow, brilliant.
really involved in this, and I
Brilliant.
was
Brilliant.
very, very touched
Yeah.
by being a part of it and seeing all the mothers out there. It was and then the mayor came out. You probably saw that.
Yes, and he got pepper sprayed. So you were in
Yeah,
that one. Wow, you were right
yeah.
in the thick of it. It's too funny. The mayor of Portland came and was standing with the protesters, and they pepper sprayed him too. tear gassed him. They didn't know. I'm assuming they didn't know he was there, but I don't think it would have mattered, right?
Well, bless his heart, you know, for standing with the people. That's his job. So.
Well, I do hold him a little to task. I mean, he can take the government to court, to federal court, to say you don't have any jurisdiction here, you know, and be a bit more
I know.
aggressive in kicking them out, you know. This is our problem, and we choose to deal with it on our own basis, you know. Plus, he's also the chief of police, is he not?
No, that's he has been trying. He's been meeting with lots of resistance. I mean, all of Oregon representatives are trying right now.
To be the chief of police?
No, to be like you said, to hold them accountable, to get them out of there. They just voted, and the judges. Yeah, it's a process.
I mean,
it's
I heard
new.
on the news that he's not only the mayor, but he's also the chief of police. He's both.
Is he the chief of police? I don't
That's what I
think
heard. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I thought that's most unusual for a mayor to also be the chief, because they said he's quite a divisive figure for some. So, and that's one of the reasons they're saying it. So, yeah.
Well, the people that are have been doing the demonstrations for over 50 days, they're not a fan of his. They want him to resign, and so for him to come out there knowing that he was putting himself at risk, you know, with these people was
good for him.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah.
We all need to be teachable and learn new ideas and keep an open mind, you know, to what's going on, especially when you're representing others, you know, that might hold a different opinion. It's important to be flexible.
Exactly.
So,
and you know, it's a protest, for heaven's sake. You know, I mean, the whole issue is because of the police station that was abandoned. And you know, they're spinning this into something more, but you know, it's not an issue. So. Yeah, it's not what the protests are about, you know. So people are making a big fuss of that, but it's a distortion, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't agree with the destruction of property.
Sure, that shouldn't be.
It's
Absolutely.
It's part of this, but it's definitely not like the media and the president are saying that it's just a bunch of anarchists. That's not true. It's a whole group of people. There's elderly folks out there. There's, you know, there's kids. I mean, it's just a wide range of people that have a lot of heart and just care about their city and understand that, you know, having military troops on your streets gassing people is not constitutional. And so, you know, what do you do?
Yeah.
So that's all that we can do. Yeah, I don't know. I'm learning as I go along. I'm here for my kids, and I love Portland, but I left Portland, you know, for reasons, you know, to get away from this kind of stuff. I really prefer being in the small town in the country, you know.
Yeah,
so
well, hey, the universe has sucked you in there, so all good.
I can't let my kids fend for themselves, you know.
Yeah,
I have to
exactly.
help.
You gotta do what you gotta do, and the way it comes. So you know, you make the best of it. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun, right? So
it's very interesting. There's a lot of learning to be done here. So
that's always what it's about, the learning. That's always what it's about.
Yeah, I feel very, very fortunate.
Brilliant. All right, where were we lost? Oh, excuse me.
We went over the module 3, session 1, and so now I'm on 2.
So we're on which module now? Again, say module 3, session 2.
Module 3, session 2.
Right.
Yeah. How are things over at Justin's? Is everything still going well?
It's mellow. You know, I don't interact too much. So you know, I don't see them very often. But so that sounds all cool and mellow. And you know, he said yesterday he got 2 properties that he's got an option on, and I think that he's going to do the stuff on. So at least something is happening, you know. So
yeah, he sounds like he's got a lot going on.
Yeah. So yeah, all right. So module 2,
All
session
right.
2, which is
Okay. Exemplification of being.
yes, this is a fun one, a
Yeah.
different one. So all right, let's hear.
Yes.
We're
Yeah.
listening.
It was very good. Very, very good. I loved this one. It made me think a lot. I had a lot of, I don't know, internal resistance as I was going through it for some reason. And I had to read it over and over and over to fully
Excellent.
understand and
Excellent.
absorb.
Excellent. 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 That's very
Just
good.
to understand myself, not even really to
Exactly.
understand the concepts, but to understand what was coming up in me that was causing it.
That's part of the process. That's exactly it. That's fantastic. That's excellent. All right, so let's hear.
Okay. We are unempowered by lack of trust. Joy, self-assuredness, confidence, and self-trust comes from trusting, not panicking in life. Our energy and ability to learn, the ability to do, adjust, figure out, be appropriate, sensible, sober, patient, humble, depends on our trust, our intent to goodness, unrelenting positivity, perpetual awareness, and indisputable impeccability. What about when we don't know or don't have time to figure out and learn? Capital T trust is trust in our personal power. It's when we'll make things work out good regardless of not knowing how. To be impeccable, we must make the best use of our energy, which includes trusting our own personal power. A spirit warrior makes this the core of our way of being. Eliminate emotional, egoic, inappropriate considerations to be impeccable. Joy is our ultimate power weapon shield. Energy, intent, power, sobriety, trust, and awareness are other weapons and shields.
Yeah. The also in terms of joy, the way it was in the session is that joy is our ultimate accomplishment, not just a weapon or a shield, right? But other things were the weapons and shields, but joy is the purpose for having those weapons and shields. This is the point and purpose of everything. If you don't have any joy, you can have all the sensibility in the world. Without joy, it's not going to help you anything. You can have all the awareness in the world. Without joy, it's not going to help you anything, right? So that's the why we do all this, is to get to now. When we say joy here, it is a catch-all term for any kind of superlative. You could say bliss, rapture, elation, ecstasy, wonder, awe, grace. Doesn't matter. You take your pick. Reverence, whatever is superlative for you. We just put it all into one encapsulation of joy, right? That's the point of it all. So you want to have the freedom to be able to have that without any vulnerabilities, without any restrictions, without any limitations. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Joy says it all. Yeah.
So definitely, it is our ultimate power and weapon and shield, but it's also our ultimate accomplishment. Yeah.
Okay, accomplishment and purpose.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I mean, we have other purposes like awareness, but the point of awareness is so that we can be appropriate in any circumstance. And that appropriateness, if it doesn't include joy, well, we haven't really come to the peak of where we want to be, right? Then there's more learning. If we can be appropriate, but we don't have joy, we've got more learning to do. So joy all the time in everything.
It's sort of a temperature gauge. If you're not feeling joy, then you can know something else is going on.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. We can affect the outcome of events with our abilities of character and self. There is more in us, of us, no matter how it seems. Yeah. Ensure humility with unflinching honesty, but no, we are not nothing. I think you put that in there because people have a adverse reaction to humility. Is that right?
Let me read that point now. So say it again. I want to find it. I have the slides open here by me. I want to see which one you're talking about. Say it again.
The part about ensuring humility with unflinching honesty. It starts out with, we can affect the outcome of events with our abilities.
We have learned and do know some little, and what we have learned and what we know is enough for joy and trust. For we have learned about sobriety, we have learned to understand impeccability and the humility it brings. We know of power, we realize patience is a superpower as we fully comprehend trust. So likely it's on the next one. Let's see.
It's somewhere in there. There was a lot of talk about humility.
Yeah. Maybe it's before that. So what was your repeat back there? Say again.
Ensure humility with unflinching honesty.
Yes.
But no, we are not nothing.
Correct.
So,
Correct. That's a huge point. That's good
yeah.
repeat back there. Yes. We are not nothing. Yes.
Well, I know we're not nothing. I thought it was interesting that you put that in there because, and I assumed it was because some people have an idea that humility
is to say you're nothing. Yeah.
Is minimizes what you're doing.
It's also a counter to self-importance. We're not saying that we're something. We are just simply saying we are not nothing. Big difference. I'm not saying I'm something. I'm relative to the universe. I'm nothing, but I'm not completely nothing.
Relative to self-importance. Yes, that's a good distinction there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we can affect the outcome of events with our abilities of character and self.
Yeah.
There is more in us, of us, no matter how it seems.
Yes. That's what we're here for, to connect to that moreness.
In our moreness, we can trust our own impeccability. When we've done all we can do to be impeccable, regardless of our errors and ignorance, so we can be in our true power of joy.
Yeah. Exactly.
By choosing to not be in joy, we are refusing to trust and denying to celebrate oneself, not appreciating what one is and will become. Yeah, this is huge, I think.
Absolutely.
Really huge, especially even in light of, these protests, that are going on. My daughter, as an example, she's been very, very sad and upset over a lot of what's happening in the world. And so we have conversations about how to get through it. And just this concept, this whole module dealing with joy, that's what I meant as far as it bringing up just a lot of resistance. There was something in me that wanted to fight this idea of being joyful through all of the struggle, but I get it. I do understand, and it has to do with trust. And yeah, it was very, very helpful.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, even in the protests, you can take joy in being a protester.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah, you don't have to be angry. You don't have to be
exactly
full of hate.
Exactly.
There's a difference.
Exactly. Imagine if all those protesters were there joyfully. That's really gonna make that tear gas and stuff really difficult. Plus, if there are hooligans who are looking for opportunism, like they invariably do with protests, to loot and whatever, that's going to really make it difficult for them to do. You know what I mean? You need a certain mood. It's like, the moment you do that, all the joyful say, hey, don't be spoiling the party here, don't be harshing my mellow, as it were. Right? As, what's his name used to say? The actor. Anyway. But yeah, so, it's a big deal to do that with joy. It would be transformative, no? So,
yeah.
Huge. Yeah, we can do everything with joy pretty much, yeah. It's fun. Joy is fun.
Where we are is better than where we were. Love that.
Yeah.
Remember, I have learned some, do know a little, and enough for joy and trust. I have learned about sobriety to understand impeccability and its humility. I know of power and realize patience is a superpower toward comprehending trust. Be joyful. Being joyful is simple with having these tools of awareness and understanding for our use.
Yes.
Results are up to the universe. How we deal with matters is our choice. We create our own style of personal choices, how we react to things. But integrity, honesty, character, impeccability, ethics are not optional.
Right.
Insisting on knowing the future makes us crappy. That makes me laugh. Insisting on knowing the future makes us crappy. And boy, have I spent a lot of time there in my life. So I'm so grateful that you put that in there.
Wow, brilliant.
Make peace with the unknown. Be okay with not knowing everything. Accept the mysterious secret magic. Being stubborn about it makes you a dummy. The ego, or you can't know it, let it go. Yeah, that's again, very, very big point there that I had to just really
this
absorb.
This particular session is like chock full of them. There's a whole lot of stuff in here, a lot of deep stuff, a lot of big stuff.
Yeah.
Lots of it.
The ego fears exposure of not knowing. This is unavoidable. It is foolish to have this fear because we will never know. Yeah. That's like a duh, but it's also like,
yes,
right? But it is also one of those things that every single human does all the time.
Exactly.
So there's this weird thing happening that's both are happening simultaneously.
Exactly. It's fascinating. It's just too fantastic, but those points, we really make an effort to connect and bring up and have those points come to the front. They are powerful because they may be a but that doesn't make them any less profound. Right? It's a point, but it is a profound point. And it is precisely the profound points which are points which are impactful. Because it's a because it's obvious at the moment you realize it and you connect it to being impactful. This is the key, because so often we just we poo-poo those points because, well, it's too obvious, it's so it can't be profound. This is a really poor association. We got to get out of that. No, is exceedingly profound. Yes, the key point with was it obvious? Was it a point before it became a point?
No,
which means it wasn't in your life. That's why it's profound. The fact that it's a point means it's not complicated, it's not complex, it's easy to understand. Therefore, it's easy to use and apply. It's therefore easy to have it make a change in you. That is, if you associate it and say it might be a point, but it's also a ridiculously important and profound point. Yes?
Absolutely.
Gotta put them together. That's our job. We make the obvious obvious, and we associate it with profound and life-changing and awesome and self-changing. Very big deal. And application, of course. Gotta apply those to the points. Otherwise, they're just a waste of time, right?
Right.
Knowing it is not enough. Here's a big issue. And you see this a lot in Sedona. A lot of people know all about spirituality, and they have all the lingo and they have all the buzzwords, but they don't apply any of it. Now, I'm not saying they're phonies and false. No, they aren't. But they're always in that search mode. And when they find the stuff, also, they believe, because they put it into memory, that they now know it.
Oh, I know. It's true. We all do that.
So, we've got to get out of this idea that knowing stuff in our memory, knowing stuff in our memory is actually knowing it. It's not. It's not. It's not at all. You can know the instructions of how to ride a bicycle, but people are going to crash on that logic when they actually get on a bicycle, right?
That's where the humility is so important.
Exactly.
To remain in humility and integrity.
Yes, and application. That's the test. That's the test. You only can say that you know it when you can apply it. Other than that, all you know is the idea.
Yeah, the idea. Yeah, that's again why I think
That's
I
all
just
you
need
know, is the idea.
to read this over and over and over. Like, those are some of my questions that we'll get into later. You know, how do I reprogram my mind to get this really absorbed?
Right. And I was talking about one such mechanism right now, or just previously, association management.
Okay.
Reassociate things. We have a default association, society, whatever. I said things that are there are not all that important.
Mm.
So now we are saying,
Uh-huh.
oh, when it is a der point, when I have that der awareness, I've got to say, oh, listen up, listen up. This is massively, massively, massively important. This is profound. This is huge. This is life transformative. This will change the rest of my life. Just this one idea, this one der point. So now you put it in the brain, you emphasize it, you really say, oh, this is a big, big, big deal. And then that when we emphasize things, it literally rewires the brain. Literally, I mean, your brain actually changes. The nodes grow that are associated with this point. They expand, and then because they're bigger, they connect to more other nodes, and those nodes connect to other nodes, and so on. So, this emphasis is a huge deal. So this is one of the mechanisms we use to change it. Plus, that's what I was saying about the dictionary of power. When you put it in your language, you're emphasizing it. It's important. That's why you say those words. So every time you say use your dictionary of power in some way, the terms, the concepts in the dictionary of power, you're emphasizing it in the brain, and it's an automatic application. Start living these things. Start living them. Use them.
Okay.
Apply them. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Definition of power.
Yeah,
Okay.
use the language, because the language carries all, like we were saying last week, right? We're going into the whole thing. So, but yeah, we'll come to the dictionary of power a little bit later. That was the self-conception that's built from the dictionary of power. Dictionary of power comes soon.
Yeah, a lot of these words, the language, not a lot, but quite a few are showing up in other places. And so that's when I know this is just a universal truth.
That's interesting.
You can really tell when it's right.
And it's also something that hasn't always been there. I mean, it's fun for me also to see the concepts come through now. So.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
Okay. Very
cool. All there is to do is to have joy right now. Knowing we have the tools we need is enough to be joyful now. There is nothing else to accomplish.
Exactly. What more is there than joy? Right. I mean, there is more stuff. Of course, there's our impeccability, our integrity, our sobriety, our patience, all of this stuff. But they are in the service of joy, right? So we want to get to this joy of learning. We want to take joy in the learning process, right? Right. Most people think joy is a destination. No, it's not. It's the journey. And when you take joy in the journey becomes the destination.
Right.
You've reached your destination. It's the journey. Because you have joy in the journey, you enjoy learning. There you go. Life is easy after that, right?
Yeah, it's
very
just
simple.
Profound paradigm shift.
Exactly. Very profound.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I've had glimpses of that, I suppose, my whole life, but I have really I guess I have more confidence now that I've read it and heard it in this context. I have more confidence.
Excellent. Go ahead, Beena. Go ahead.
No, sorry.
It's all right.
I was talking.
You're scolding the bunny?
No, I was not scolding anyone.
Because
it was in Urdu, so you guys have like a different understanding of that. Yeah. I was speaking in my native language, Urdu. Sorry.
Urdu is spoken by Urduans. I just made that up. I was just teasing Beena. I'm being very naughty today. I feel like teasing Beena a lot. I was teasing her a lot before you came, so.
Aw.
But what was your point, Beena? What was your point?
So I was just thinking about this joy and
Mm.
this feeling that this is ultimate accomplishment.
Yeah.
Even not an accomplishment, it needs to be. I don't want to use the word should here, but it needs to
Yes.
be
Ought. Say
the
ought
way
then
of
instead of
being.
should. Say ought.
Yeah, it ought to be
Ought to
a way
be.
of
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
instead of just to look for something. We
Exactly.
need to be in that
Exactly.
state. So it's a way of being.
Exactly. Exactly.
And
Exactly.
by joy, okay, we assume I had this understanding that by being in joy means that I'm just always cracking 5 inches smile and always being really cheerful and happy and all that. It is not like that. Joy is something where you feel and you enjoy and you acknowledge and appreciate every single moment. So this is the way of being for me. Uh, not cannot say that I'm always in that space, but I love to be.
Love to what? You broke off.
I was just saying that I would love to be
Oh,
like
oh. Oh, you
24/7
would
in
love
that
to.
space. Yeah,
Mm.
I'm trying. I'm working on that to be in that
Yeah.
state of being.
You do a good job. You do a good job, Ina. You do a good job of being in joy. You're mostly there. So, very cool. Very cool.
Okay, continue,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah, me too. I would love to be there all the time. But I've come a long way.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, a long way.
We see it from session to session.
Mm.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Very cool. Very, very cool.
Well, I spent. I mean, I don't want to get into this too much, but I've spent a lot of my life very upset and depressed, and that's how I got on this path in the first place. You know,
Wow.
I needed a lot of help, and yeah,
Wow.
I've come a long way.
Now, if you look back on it, do you think like, ugh, I wasted my time?
You know, there's no sense in thinking that
Oh,
way.
I agree. But from a learning point of view, so that you don't repeat it in some future situation. To say it's unnecessary, I could have done it differently. Now, yeah,
Oh,
you can't
absolutely.
lament the past, but you can learn from it, right?
Yeah, right. I guess a more appropriate way to say it would be, I wish I would have learned these lessons earlier.
Exactly.
You know, I wish I had teachers who I could learn from, and lessons that resonated with me, that answered my questions
Wow.
more thoroughly. You know, I just wasn't given those tools earlier on, and I was suffering with questions that no one could answer for me, and it caused me to be very frustrated in just being alive, because none of it made any sense to me, and so that caused a terrible depression. I mean, I suffered with you know, my life, you know, and I'm 42 now, you know, and I raised my children, and I did the best I could, but a lot of it was not authentic. A lot of it was just coping, and you know, some bad behaviors, and you know, my kids, you know, they knew some of it, but not all of it, and then I had to have a whole breakdown. So yeah, it's very interesting that my path took me in this roundabout way, where I had to explore all these other dead ends, and you know, I could have, I think, you know,
It all
produced
makes
a
sense,
lot
though.
better work. Well, now it's serving a purpose,
Exactly.
hopefully.
It's all in the service of awareness. Fantastic. Wow. Now, I said, yeah, I could have learned it earlier. On the flip side, though, you could also have learned it later, but you don't.
That's true.
You're learning it now instead of later, so yay.
That's very true. Yay. Absolutely. Yeah. Yay.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yay. I want to celebrate what we have, right? And you'll see
Yes.
as we go through things how we can learn to make sense of the past more and more. And in the end, we see it's all good, it's all necessary, it's all valuable. It's all in the service of awareness.
Yes, I do trust that. I do trust that 100%. And I'm, very grateful to serve, in my place. Yeah. So that's my next point. Do not wait until the end to have joy, or you'll be waiting forever. Joy is a consequence of being on the journey. Be joyful to be on the path into more and enjoy the journey. Yeah. Exactly. What else is there but joy when celebrating the more as a gift of perpetual magic? Joy makes it all worth it. It's the point of having impeccability and trust.
Joy is a gift of what?
Of perpetual magic.
Say it again, please.
Perpetual magic.
What is perpetual magic?
More.
Joy is perpetual magic.
Joy.
It's a gift of perpetual magic, yeah? That's what you said.
What else is there but joy when celebrating the more as a gift of perpetual magic?
Oh, the more.
I guess they're kind of
either way, the same thing.
All
right.
together.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I was just saying for emphasis, it's a gift of perpetual magic. When we think about this, like, wow. Mm-hmm. Same with the more. Joy, more, no matter, impeccability, sobriety, awareness, all of it, gifts of perpetual magic.
Yes.
A huge deal.
Yes, it
Very
is.
exciting. Very exciting.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
It's fun. It's fun. It's fun. I was stuck for, when I had some profound shifts happening to me a few years ago, I got stuck in the wanting to understand how it worked. I got stuck there for a while. I was thinking if I remained stubborn, something would shift for me because of my demands, but that's not how it works. Apparently. Right. I just made myself miserable.
Right. Learning is a gift, not a demand. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get into how it all makes sense a little later. We got into it a little bit in the awareness session, module 1, session 3, but that was connected to motivation. So it's coming where we're going to make sense of the entirety of everything later on.
Well, I don't expect to understand how it all makes sense anymore. That's my point, is that I have to trust and
okay. But I'm saying, though, we are actually going to make sense of it, and you're going to make sense of it yourself, where you're going to say, oh, I see now. I see how you made sense of it, Elizabeth, and you're going to agree with yourself that it makes sense and it's pretty simple.
Okay.
That's very exciting.
Okay, great.
Very exciting.
That's great. Yeah. Okay, I'm down with that. I'm up with that.
There you go. Either way.
Either way.
I love that. Very cool.
Stepping into the dark with integrity and impeccability turns the light on for the next step.
Yes. Now, why does that happen like that, by the way? I mean, you'd say, come on, universe, why you have to go make it difficult now? Why do I have to take that first step in the dark? And then only do you turn the light on.
Right. Well, to me, it feels like it's a test of your faith.
your impeccability, never mind your faith, right? Your intent.
Impeccability, intent. Okay,
Intent.
yeah.
Right. Intent specifically. Not so much faith, but intent. Big
Okay.
difference, right? There's a very big difference. A lot of people have faith and it doesn't get them anywhere because it's a cop-out. They just use their faith as a bailout. Oh, I have faith, and then they don't have to do anything, right?
Okay. Can you
I mean,
keep
look,
going with that?
yeah,
Let me see.
sure. So, but with intent, though, intent is a commitment of energy. It is a commitment. However, intent is a wish or a hope or a desire that we put into action. That's what the difference between an intent and a wish and a hope and a desire is that we're actually doing something about it. Yeah. So, how many people say, "Oh, I wish I had this. Oh, I wish I had that," and then you just ask them a little bit, like say, "Oh, I wish I had a Ferrari." I say, you know, would you be okay with stressing about every time you go to the supermarket that you're worried about a trolley scratching your car, and all the attention you're going to get people on, and they ask you for money because they see you driving a Ferrari, and you've got these high insurance bills, and you're low down and you can't really get a good view of things, and blah blah. I say, oh, never mind, I don't want a Ferrari anymore. Okay. I'm just saying for argument's sake now, right? So
Okay.
people wish and think they want things, but when push comes to shove, then they realize, not really, right? Like same with fame. People say, oh yeah, it'd be nice to be famous. You want paparazzi chasing you, and you can never go to a restaurant and eat in peace because you got people wanting your autograph or a selfie or whatever. I say, oh, never mind, cancel that. I don't want to be famous anymore, right? So the universe knows this. It knows that we think we want things, but it wants to make sure. And the way it makes sure, it tests you a little bit. That's the test of in the dark. If you're willing to head into the unknown to get what you want, that means you really, really want it. And now the universe can actually give it to you. So it doesn't waste its energies and gifts on things that you only think you want but don't really want. And you need to prove this to yourself as well, because you just look around you at what people think they want, and it's the biggest load of nonsense under the sun. They don't think it through to the end, so they get stuck on this point. That's why thinking it through to the end is one of the entries in your dictionary of power. Right? And the to the end is in all caps, because you always gotta shout it, because it's to the end. It's very important to go to the end, to think things through to the end. Very, very essential. Very, very essential. So that's why that first step is in the dark, to test your intent. Furthermore, the universe can only show you step number 2 once you've finished step number 1.
Oh. Okay.
Because everything is in flux, right? How exactly you finish your particular step is what's going to determine what comes next. For the universe to be totally appropriate in giving you what's next, you have to finish first, right?
Right.
What if you don't finish that first step and you get the next thing? Then what?
It's incomplete. You can be overwhelmed.
All sorts of things can go all wrong with it. Yeah.
Lose your balance.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So the universe can only give you what's appropriate when the situation is complete and when it's not in flux, when it's not open, right? Because how you finish those last few steps could make all the difference in the world. You have to do it in order for the next step appropriately to come to you. It's very important. So that's why you see people struggle, when they don't finish a relationship. If they're still in the old relationship, well, they have a problem with a new one. Yeah. I can't really move into a new relationship if they're still in the old one. You have to finish it.
Okay. Yeah.
A good analogy here is stepping stones on a river. If you don't finish putting your stepping stone in place, you can't place the next one. Because you got to stand on the one that you're placing, right? If you haven't finished putting it properly in place and it's loose and it's unstable, well, then you don't have a platform with which to lay the next stone. and so on. So that's how it is in life too. It's very similar. If your thing is unstable, or it's not fluid, or not put down properly, well, there you go. It could break, snap, wash away, whatever, topple over, whatever. Not possible to place the next steps. Kind of similar for the universe. Got to finish that step. Very important. Yeah. Whatever you're doing,
How,
finish
how
it.
do you know? How do you know when you've finished it?
Oh, and there's no more to be done on it.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, usually it's pretty obvious. Well, I can't do anything more. That's it. I'm done. Well, I mean, in the case of a stepping stone, you can jump on it and shake it around, move it. Okay, it's good. Pretty obvious usually. Right? If you got no connection to it, for instance, no doubts, no insecurities, no fears, no worries, no bothers. If you trust it, all of these things. Well, okay, I got no problems with it anymore. I'm not stressing about it. I'm not just disregarding it. I've thought it through, and I can honestly say there's nothing about it that bothers me or stresses me. There you go.
Okay.
Just evaluate it with integrity, and you'll know.
Okay. Okay, I have to think about that one. I have this habit of second guessing and over analyzing. I'm one of those people that really has a hard time letting relationships go. For instance, I married my husband twice. I divorced him and then
Oh,
I remarried him.
well,
Yeah.
well, likely that's just not because you don't trust that the thing is what it is. You don't trust your own trust.
Well, I, when I've invested so much into somebody or something, it's I don't want to think that all of that was wasted energy. I want it to amount to something.
Yeah, don't play poker.
Okay.
You'll lose a lot of money. I told you about that pot committed, right? What pot committed is, what it means in poker.
Right. Okay.
Right. Don't be pot committed. Don't throw good money after bad simply because you've invested in it. More investment isn't going to make it better. It's still a losing hand. That's it. Your husband is still a loser no matter how much you invest into him. And I don't mean loser in the Trump way or the politics way. I mean a losing hand for you. It's not for you. You've learned your lesson. Move on. Yeah.
Okay.
Likely you're trying to save him. Yeah.
Oh, I think, yeah, maybe there was some of that, but it had more to do with the idea of having a whole family. It had to do with my kids, and I'm a very committed, loyal person. And so, when I love, it's really, that's it. So.
Oh, maybe as an exercise, make a list, like as a task, as a bonus task for you, extra task here. So make a list of all of the good reasons why your marriage with your husband did not work out and why it needs to not work out, right? So this is the good reasons for it not working out and why that's a good thing.
I also have this idea, I think that, if the universe gave it to me, it must be good. And so that's not accurate, is it?
Well, it is good. It's just in what context? There's all sorts of assumptions there. You're assuming that it's good forever. Universe don't care for conventions that say, "Oh, a marriage must last forever." That's a local temporary thing. Not all societies have those conventions. It just happens to be the one that you're in. So the universe is, for one thing, right here, it's saying, "Hey, you know what? You got to learn to think for yourself, girl. not be buying into conventions. Says, oh, you might need 10 marriages in your lifetime to get where you want to, or none, or have relationships that aren't marriages, or whatever. You have to find what's right for you, and only you can determine that. Nobody else. Nobody else. Each one's lessons are unique. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
I mean, in other words, this simple fact of saying, you know what, I have this idea, I need to be loyal, and marriage is forever. To be forced to the reality to admit that that is not so. You are now saying, you know what, I believe something which is against convention,
Mm.
which means that you've broken free from convention.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's one of the big challenges. If we want to be real, true, independent, real people, we have to be able to break free from convention. Otherwise, you're just a robot, which also means that
Yeah.
we have to be wrong. We have to actually be wrong so that we can know for a fact that we can be wrong, which means our choices are free choices. Yeah.
Yes.
And that's important. If your choice is not a free choice, well, then you're a robot. Yeah. That's the difference between us and robots. The robots can't go out and cause havoc.
Mm.
Their programming won't allow it.
Mm.
It would be illegal to make a robot that could go and create havoc, could go and burn down places or kill people or whatever. It would be utterly illegal to do so. We can do
Mm.
it via our children. That's not illegal, but as a robot, no, you can't do
Mm.
that.
Mm. Right.
I mean, we can have children that can go out and cause havoc, but it's an interesting thing.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's no legal culpability on the parents when the children go and create havoc. Isn't that amazing? That's how much we recognize free will, because we realize that parents try their best, and no matter what they do, kids can still go out and do all this stuff, right? So even free will
Mm.
is legally acknowledged. It's a very powerful thing. Very powerful thing. But we need to have free
Interesting.
will. If we don't have free will, we can never know that our awareness is real, because your choices are then just they're going by a program, according to a program. So you have to be able to make mistakes to prove to yourself, oh no, I can make mistakes. Therefore, I have to really think. Make
Right.
mistakes. My choices are mine, and that's how you make for real awareness, when you choose it for yourself. And it's very important. It's very important. Also, that's how you get to be a real person. If you're always living according to somebody else's choices, whether they be society, your parents, teachers, whatever, books, whatever, you're living according to somebody else's idea, not your own. That doesn't make you real, right?
Right.
Very cool. Beena, you
Yeah.
have something to add to that?
Okay. I just came back. I was away for 10 minutes. So, but this is something really interesting that it's a buzzword. Everybody say that. Okay, we live to our true self. Okay, we live to our reality and our real self. We all talk about that,
Mm-hmm.
but somehow we almost all of us are compromised in some or other way. Sometimes we are not aware. Okay, we assume that our real self must be something other than what we are right now, and sometimes some cultural, religious, societal, family pressure, and we start compromising ourselves and start living other people's choices and life. It's quite really interesting that I saw many people uh, in my experience. They have awareness, but still, and not like some ordinary stuff. They are kind of aware people, but still, when it comes to uh, cultural things, when it comes to religious point of view or family, or just some personal preferences, um, they are not really living their life.
their
It's
own
quite
lives.
interesting.
Yeah,
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 quite interesting.
fascinating.
And
Mhm.
it is, you can see the variety from very subtle to the extreme. Some people mostly are in a very subtle way, but some are really extremes. We
Yeah.
got some idea from external influences that, oh, this is the cool thing, this is what we need to be, and then we start living according to that situation or perspective. That is interesting. And I was talking to Sel just before you
Mhm.
come, and Donna, other participants. We were talking about that, and I was saying that yes, I do feel that I'm still compromised in some other way. I say that it is part of my being appropriate, but still, it's not that I'm just completely living my true self. No, I'm also compromised in some other way.
Well, it's good to be aware of. You know, freedom
Yeah,
is a continuous process.
yes,
Yeah.
because also our real self is not a stagnant thing. It is always evolving, always
Right.
changing and transforming. So how can we be like say that, oh, we are done with that, because it's an
Mhm.
ever changing, ever evolving thing and a process. So we need to be in a process to be uh, aligned with our real self. We cannot be like, okay, it's a stagnant thing. I achieved something. Okay, now I am. We cannot achieve it. We can be just aligned with that, because it's always moving, evolving, changing, transforming idea.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah.
Be real. We gotta be real. Very cool, Beena. Very cool. Very cool.
Mhm.
And pay attention to who we are and where we are and what we're doing, and think about stuff. Don't just take it for granted. Yeah. Right,
Yeah.
Beena?
And also that, yes, exactly. And also that I think that we need to, for myself, I need to get rid of this idea that, okay, it is something which I can achieve. I cannot achieve that because it's not a stagnant thing.
Mm.
It's
Achieve,
ever
achieve
evolving.
what,
It's ever
Beena? Achieve
changing.
what?
Real self,
Ah, ah,
my real self. Yeah,
okay.
it's
Exactly.
not a stagnant or a fixed
Ah,
idea.
yeah.
So it is always evolving and transforming and changing according to my awareness. So it is something which I can be aligned with,
Hmm.
I can achieve.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Not only achieve, but enjoy. Enjoy.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that's one of those things I wished I had learned way back earlier,
No.
because I had been taught an idea that there was some, um, perfected image, something to attain, and that idea was fixed and certain and never changing. But I don't
Wow.
think that's, yeah,
Wow.
I'm not
What, what,
sure
what,
that.
what was that? Was that like a religious thing?
Yes.
Ah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the magic of religion. They're so messed up, usually, in some way or another. Sorry, Bina, but they force you to choose, actually. Even though what's being presented is presented as something that has no choice. You cannot escape choice. It's impossible. So religion is particularly good at getting you to choose for yourself and to realize that you are choosing against what is being pushed as the dogma or the edicts and that. And when you realize that you are actually choosing how you relate and how you interpret religion, then it all shifts. And then religion usually becomes quite a joyful and a blissful thing, because you're seeing that I'm choosing. I'm seeing the sense here. It's me. It's not being pushed on me and forced on me. And then you can ignore the things that don't make sense and enjoy the things that do make sense. It's very cool. It's very cool. It's very magical.
Yeah.
People get lots of value out of their religion as opposed to it being a stressful thing. But it's that choice issue. That's the magic. So yeah. So you might as well say that, you could say that in religion it's almost now the religions themselves don't do this, but the scriptures, or you could maybe say it comes from the deity or the universe or wherever. They actually kind of almost force you to be disobedient in a way.
I can see that.
Yeah. Because if you're not able to be disobedient when things are wrong, then you're going to end up tolerating a lot of wrongness. Yeah.
Well, sure. That's what's happening, I think.
Exactly. You see, now that's the thing. Now it's not a direct lesson of religion. It's inadvertent. They can't tell you to be deliberately disobedient in religion. You have to do this of your own accord, right? They teach you and tell you be obedient, and yet at the same token, you have to take some things and say, no, I can't be doing this. This doesn't make any sense. So it also forces you to be disobedient. Very magical setup.
Yeah, it is.
It makes sense in the bigger scheme of things.
Yes, it does.
Oh yeah. I'll
It
send you
does. I just.
send you a story. I got a bonus session for you.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah. I'll send it to you. It's called the gift of doubt.
Gift of doubt. Okay, great.
It's on this point. It's very specifically on this point. So when you do it,
Well,
do it in the same way as you do any of these sessions. I was going to include it in the way of impeccability, but then I thought, I'll save it as appropriate. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've been thinking about this for a long time, actually, because I've spent a few years kind of in limbo, not knowing where to live, what to do, because I'm just changing a lot and evolving daily, really. And I just can't really decide on one particular path, to focus on. It just is very elusive, and so I think it's a good thing to be changing, and not be stuck on one idea. But it's also like I've talked about before. It doesn't feel like a good thing sometimes because I'm not accomplishing actually anything in the tangible physical sense. Because in those things you need to be really focused on the same thing for a long time and be dedicated. I know I'm dedicated to something, but it doesn't seem to be bringing much results. So I'm not sure if that's the right thing to do. So that's why I was asking earlier about how do you know when you're done?
Well, you have to look at the criteria involved. I mean, results and being productive and making a difference. All that's a societal thing. Again, what's the end goal here? So if your goal is awareness, learning, growing, joy, you don't have to be productive to be to make a difference in the world, and you don't even need to make a difference in the world. All you need to do is not make a negative difference. There's nothing that says you have to be positive, but you kind of do not have to be negative. So that's your only responsibility. Other than that, the best way to do good is to be good. It's pretty much the only way you can be sure that your good is not going to be inappropriate.
Okay.
Best way to do good is to
I like
be
that.
good. Because anytime you are doing good, usually it's based on assumptions and presumptions. You're presuming that what you think is good for others and for the world is in fact so. How the hell do you know? It's a
Right.
guess. It's just a guess. But when you are being good, just within yourself, this you can be sure of. It's good for me. I'm putting out good vibes. That's it. Wow, is that a plane?
Can you hear
Drone?
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I actually have to go inside and get my phone charger.
Ah,
I'm on my phone because I still haven't figured out my computer.
wow.
Now I need to charge it.
Yes, it's very important to have one's computer figured out. It's the first thing you need to do. Very important.
Well, I know I've been having some internet challenges, so
Ah,
I'm working on it.
Google is your friend. Just Google whatever you need to know on the phone, and you'll find all the answers because everybody's had the same challenge before. So just type in exactly what your problem is, and you'll see somebody's been there before, and they'll tell you what to do. It's very cool.
Okay.
It's a priority. Keep that battery charged. Always. It's like a metaphor for life, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah. Brilliant. All right. Keep going.
Okay.
When you're ready. No worries.
Where was I? Shift to self-acceptance. Shift to self-acceptance of who and what we are, become, and will be, and that there is always more to come and nothing.
Say that again, please.
Okay. Shift to self-acceptance of who and what we are, become, and will be, and that there is always more to come and nothing. Yeah.
Wow.
Shift to enjoy the process of becoming, the joy of being. Enjoy the personal journey of more of being. Enjoy now.
Exactly. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
In the circumstances you are at there, like with your family, you with your staying with your parents, even with your kids. If you were to say to them, you know what, I want to start over in life, and I mean really start over, kind of like I'm a child, relearn stuff, because everything that I have sort of more or less learned, it's kind of questionable. So I'm throwing it all out and I'm starting from scratch. I'm relearning everything, right?
Yeah.
If you were to say this to them and say, look, I want your assistance in this, because it's a big thing that I'm doing. It's not a simple thing. I'm starting over. I'm really starting over. But that means I'm really kind of like a child for the most part, at least until I get all my stuff sorted out, and however long that takes. So you're asking for them to help and assist and support you in this endeavor. What do you think? How do you think they will respond to this if you were to say it in that way?
Oh, I think they're very supportive.
Huh? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe something to try then.
Yeah, well, I think, yeah, that's what I'm doing.
But I mean to say it specifically.
Oh.
So that they know the full extent of what's involved, and they make space for you, because you're saying this very earnestly and very sincerely, and they see you really mean it. You really are doing it. So then you can say, then they can assist you in this process, and you won't have assumed pressures on you like, oh, you need to be doing this, you need to be doing that. They're going to give you that space, so it will help you a lot. I would imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. I think that's what they're doing. Yeah.
But I mean, to make it clear though, to not have it as an assumption, to have it out there front and center, very clearly, very deliberately, so that everybody knows that they might think so, that this is what you're doing, but they can't be sure that you think this is what you are doing. You see what I mean? So you kind of need to spell it out a little bit, or not have to, but
Say that again. That
right.
they know.
They might see, oh, Elizabeth's starting over again, but they can't be sure that this is what they won't know. This is what you think you are doing unless you say it. You see?
Okay.
Otherwise, they're just guessing. Unless you say it specifically, they're just going to be assuming that this is what you're doing. You see?
Okay. I'm going to go back outside.
It's just to have that clarity, you see? Just to make things really clear so that everybody knows what's going on. And that way you can also get their full support for the activity. If it's just implied, it's like, well, what else are you doing? You're not doing anything else. You're not looking for other stuff. You just want help in starting over. You want some space and assistance in starting over. Yeah?
Yes.
If you don't,
you're right.
I'm trying to say, if you don't spell it out, if you aren't clear, then people don't know exactly where they fit into the thing. And then they might have other expectations from you. You see? So that way you get given more space to do what you need to do.
Okay. How do I have to have this upside down? There. Can you see me? Am I upside down? Okay.
No, you're not upside down.
I'm not? Okay.
Nope. You're backlit, but you're not upside down.
Oh. Not sure if I can change that where I'm sitting.
You just have to sit on the other side of the phone, that's all. You know what I mean? So that you have the phone between you and the sun. There you go. There you go.
But I need to sit it on something. Hang on.
Beena. Hello, Beena. You there, Beena? Say hello to you while Elizabeth fiddles.
Oh, that doesn't work.
I'm here. I'm here. I'm listening. Okay, so all set?
Okay.
So
balance your attunement. Sorry, guys.
No problem.
Balance your attunement with the world by having a joyful exemplification of being. Enable and empower yourself through the joy of being impeccable on our path.
Yeah. Wow. I'm sorry. I won't be able to concentrate. You're going to have to show me your notes. It's a big, huge. There we go. Oh, because it was so close to the phone, I thought it was like an artist sketch pad. The big full-size ones. Like kind of wider than your waist. Like your shoulders, like twice as wide. It looked so wide because it's close to the phone.
Because
so
I need to set this somewhere.
No. It was fine. It was fine. No. Leave it. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's perfect. It was just a perspective. It was just a perspective. It was fun. It's fun. So I thought you had this giant notebook, like an artist's pad that big a sketch pad.
Yeah, no, it's just a notebook.
Right, but still, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Very cool.
My unrelenting life efforts are connected to the moreness of an empowered freedom from the joy of knowing humility. This enables a spirit warrior, not limits them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Our humility frees us. It frees us. It frees us. Yeah, because there's always more. So when we accept this in humility, we just live in a perpetual moreness, which is, wow, how awesome is that?
Yeah, it's really a beautiful thing that frees a person up when they feel, trusting and humble. I think it makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah.
Our valuable work is useful when we are enabled through joyful awareness, but we must be an example of impeccability through empowered joy and self-understanding to take advantage of it, including acceptance of self-honesty and our moreness.
Yeah.
And our moreness needs to be exemplified joy of being who we are without hiding or seeking anything in return. And be impeccable by being good for ourselves first. Otherwise, we contaminate what we send out.
Exactly. And look now, I mean, that was put in there long before COVID, but isn't COVID now absolutely forcing that lesson on us?
Absolutely, yes.
You have to
Yes.
take care of you first, otherwise you go and contaminate everybody else. So,
Right.
yeah, very important. Very
All right,
important.
that's all my repeat backs.
Let's hear your takeaways. I'm looking forward to this.
Okay. If I want to be empowered by knowing more, I must accept that I don't know and be okay with that. Surrendering to the mystery is the fastest way to be empowered.
Surrendering to the mystery is the fastest way of being empowered. Wow, that's very cool. That's a big statement. That's huge. That's beautiful. That's magical. You like that, Beena? Beena, you like that? Surrendering to the mystery is the gateway to being empowered.
I said it's the fastest way to be
Fastest way.
empowered. But I like gateway too. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's
gateway.
the gateway to empowerment. Yeah. Because I don't know if it's the fastest. I always try and avoid absolutes because how do you know? It's like when they always say, "Oh, it's the best food in the world." Have you eaten all the food in the world? No, you haven't. So you can't say it's the best food in the world. So, so
right?
fastest is one of those. But if you say it is a gateway, this you can say with a fair amount of confidence. Yes.
Yes. Yes. Well, it does imply to me the fast way, just because as soon as you make that switch toward trust, and surrendering to not knowing, then that just shifts everything instantly.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Surrendering to the mystery immediately, instantly places you in the kingdom of more, or the land of more, or the universe of more. You just end up living in a world of more, and well, then you suddenly have more, which is fantastic. So it is an instant mechanism for connecting to the more. And when you connect it to the more, that's empowering. So there's other things that are empowering. It's not the only thing that's empowering. So very cool. There you go.
Okay, I'm gonna hold it this way now. If I can. I don't have anything to set it on.
Don't worry about it. It don't matter. Please, it doesn't matter. If we sit there looking at your feet or whatever, it's all good. We don't care. We don't care. It's all right. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Yeah. To know more, be okay with knowing less.
Exactly. If you don't, how on earth are you going to have more in your life?
So simple, but
profound.
So important.
Yes, exactly.
Be okay with knowing less. And it's just one of those things that I like the simplicity of that statement, to remind myself as an affirmation, throughout the day, or when I'm feeling frustrated
Yes. So we like self-evident sensibilities. the entire program is founded on, based all of these things. They self-evident sensibilities. They're not requiring you to believe anything. Once you know it, it's like, well, duh. That's what a duh is. It's a self-evident sensibility, right? Okay, duh, not necessarily that it's sensible, but we're looking for those things like, yeah, well, now, okay, duh. When in the context, they are self-evident sensibilities. This is what gives them power, because you do not need to believe them. They prove themselves. They're self-evident, and they're sensible. That's what we strive for: self-evident sensibilities. Yeah? So everything in your dictionary of power, in your dictionary of power, Elizabeth's dictionary of power, you want to make sure that they are self-evident sensibilities to you.
Yeah. Self-evident. I'm going to even put that in there.
To you,
Self-evident
absolutely,
sensibility.
yes. So this concept of self-evident sensibility, put that in exactly. It goes into your dictionary of power. Yes, absolutely, very important. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Suffering is caused by lack of trust. To have joy and confidence, trust the universe is supporting you perfectly.
Why?
Being a human means you will never know everything. Enjoy the freedom of being a humble human, which comes with the privilege of getting to trust the universe. Enjoy not having to make things work yourself and finding all the answers. Let go of control and watch the magic unfold. This is a real gift. Enjoy it.
Why?
Do what you can with what you have. That's all there is for you. If you apply yourself to the best of your abilities, you can be self-assured and have confidence. Even when you don't know how things will work out, you can trust your personal power will make things good.
Yes, make it good. Make it good. You're the one who determines whether it's good or not. Nobody else, right? So you get to make it good. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. A spirit warrior is different from other people because we use our energy the best way through impeccability. Therefore, our personal power can be trusted. There was what do you say about that? That was something that you had on there, that spirit warriors are different from others. So I wondered what you meant by that.
I guess that we just accept our difference, not necessarily because we're a spirit warrior, but just because everybody's different, and we don't necessarily say, "Oh, I'm the same as everybody else." We just embrace this fact of difference because it is a fact. So I don't remember that specifically the difference, but let me go and have a look. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know which one it was on. Maybe toward the beginning.
Yeah, we'll see in a second. So exemplification of being. Let's screen share so you can see with me. Help me spot it. Exemplification of being. Let's make this full screen. All right. Just skimming through it real quick. So. All right. Testing out the mouse. Best use of energy. Right. Joy. Oh. We're kind of into it quite a ways now. So, all right, let me go back to the first ones and see right at the very beginning.
Yeah, I don't remember where it was exactly.
Okay. trust will make things work out good, regardless of not knowing how. Yeah, trust that you will, and you'll find a way.
Yeah, it must have been after that one.
Yeah. So yeah, trusting our personal power, no matter how small it may be, is part of our impeccability, because at root, impeccability is the best use of energy. This is the core of our way of being, of living as a spirit warrior. So yeah, I'm not sure where the different part is coming into it,
I'm not
but
sure either.
well, let's see the next one and see. Impeccability demands throwing out any petty, inappropriate ego and emotional considerations. But it's your takeaway. It's not a repeat back. So that's how you feel about it, which is okay. Yeah, yeah. So for some reason that you felt that. Now, okay, being a spirit warrior, it does make you different, but so does it. We
Bless
have to
you.
be very careful. See, that's why I was surprised when you said, "Oh, I had it in there." That's why I came to check, because it's not something I'll easily put in there, because it's so easy to confuse and conflate being different with being better. Being a spirit
Yeah,
warrior
that's why
makes you
I'm.
different just because you've chosen to be a spirit warrior. Same as being an nincompoop makes you different because you've chosen to be a nincompoop, or a serial killer, or a clown, or whatever you've chosen to be. Right? It
Yeah,
doesn't matter. So in that sense, yes, being a spirit warrior is different, but it's not better or worse. It's just a path we choose. It's a path that makes sense to us, but that's our choice. We don't say it's better or worse. You got to choose your own path. This is a path that works for me. And I
yeah.
like
I'm
impeccability
surprised.
because say again.
I'm surprised also because
Okay.
it's not something that I would normally say. I'm not
Right.
sure why I
Uh,
wrote that down
maybe the universe just
because,
had you write it down so that we could talk about
yeah, I guess so. I mean, I
it.
feel like we are all doing this together, and
Exactly.
we're all different from each other. There is no better
Exactly.
or worse.
Exactly. I
And
mean, yeah.
right, a spirit warrior is maybe just aware that
Right.
they're doing something maybe differently than
Correct.
more
Correct.
deliberate, maybe.
Yes. 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 So, you can write this as a quote, maybe, or add into your notes. A spirit warrior is deliberately aware of their difference.
Okay.
That's first point when it comes to difference.
Okay.
And then the second one is a spirit warrior deliberately celebrates difference.
I just do think that it can cause harm for some who think that they're not included.
Correct.
And
That's
so
why I'm
it's
saying we
that
celebrate difference.
distinction.
It's a choice. You choosing to be something that works for you. It is in the purpose of it is not to compare yourself to others. It is to leverage yourself. It is simply a tool that we use to leverage ourselves. So, again, we have to be careful of this trap of equality. We aren't all equal. It's just a fact of nature. So, when we get into this equality deal, we can also hold ourselves back because some people don't want to learn. And if I keep trying to be equal to the people who don't want to learn, well, I'm going to be held back. And sorry, that's not for me. That's your choice. I appreciate your choice. That's effort reward for you. Everybody's choice of effort reward is theirs and theirs alone, where they choose to be on that circle, because the effort reward circle is a circle because there's no better or worse. So me saying I'm a spirit warrior, this is my choice. This is what I wish to do. It's like saying I'm an artist or a musician. It's no better or worse. It's just what I choose. Right. Right. And
Okay.
that's why I said, you can actually tie those two sentences together and say a spirit warrior deliberately is aware of their difference. Because of this awareness, they deliberately choose to celebrate difference. Right?
Yes.
If I'm aware of my difference and I see how my difference is a good thing, how can I not apply this to you? Of course, I have to apply it to you. In this sense, we are equal. We are equal in the fact that we are both different. Yeah? Your
Okay.
difference is your difference. That's whatever you do with yourself and your difference, that's your choice. I assume that you are, doing the best according to how much effort is worth the reward for you. For me, I see making lots of effort. I get lots of reward about making extra efforts of learning and growth. Now, other people don't feel it's worth the effort. Fine, that's their choice. So, it's implied in being a spirit warrior that you have this humility and that you don't have any superiority or any nonsense like that, and that you celebrate difference. So, being a spirit warrior is being very humble, right? There's no possibility of it being seen as something that's negative. It just happens to be my thing. Like, okay, I'm an artist, or I'm a protester, or I'm a mother, or uncle, or whatever. Yeah, it's just a thing that you do that gives you value.
I think I've noticed some people are more, it's more obvious their humility than others. Others think they're humble, but it's not as obvious.
Right. And some people believe they're humble when they're absolutely not, and they will push humility as kind of like almost a force, like a badge of honor, but they brag about the humility, which that's not humility. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I had somebody who's, thinks that she's very, very spiritual and very powerful in all these ways, and she got very offended when I mentioned to her that we need to be humble. And that was an interesting conversation because she thought it was a bad thing and that she had a right to be so strong in her opinions, and it came across as something that I didn't want to have any part of at all, because
that was a gift for you. She made it very clear,
yes,
that she's immersed in a nonsense bubble, and you say, well, all right, that's very interesting, thank you very much, and that's the last of it, right? So I don't know how much you're acquainted with black holes from an actual science point of view. Yeah. Now, a black hole, they have like a sort of a bubble around it, and there's an edge to that bubble, and that edge is called the event horizon.
Uh-huh.
All right. So what this is once you cross the event horizon, you're at the point where the force of the black hole is greater than the force of your ability to escape it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So once you cross the event horizon, you're going to get sucked in. Now, you could be trapped inside the event horizon in this kind of a bandwidth where the energy of like, let's say your ship, for instance, its engines are at maximum, and it just keeps you in the same spot, right? You don't leave and you don't go. You just kind of stay neutral. So I'm just saying, this is it's a very real thing in science. Okay. So you
Okay.
want to stay outside of the event horizon, because once you cross that, you're going to get sucked in. So that meeting was like the event horizon for you with this person, like the warning to say, hey, danger here. Go any further, get involved, you're going to get sucked in, and then you're not getting out again, or at least not again, right? So
Yeah.
So there you go. You got a beautiful warning from the universe. Thank you very much. It's very interesting what you say. Yes, you have a right to be a nincompoop. So do I. Good luck on that. Okay, you don't have to say that exactly, but everybody has a right to be what they are. That's it. That's your choice. It's not something that I choose. So I choose not to hang out with you because I don't want to get sucked into your black holeness of all your stuff. Because that's the thing. She's trying to force her perspective. So just be careful.
Yeah, I love that. It's everyone's prerogative to value humility or not.
Exactly.
And then I guess my dad uses the phrase, show me the fruit. The fruit of your philosophies.
Exactly.
And that does say a lot about where people end up based on those ideas that they value. And I think humility is a really beautiful one.
Yes.
Personally.
Yes.
And I'm really grateful that this lesson talked about it a lot in a way that is helpful, like trusting the universe as like a parent, a loving parent, that the child doesn't need to, figure things out for themselves. They have a parent who loves them.
Well, the universe really is a very good parent, because it makes every effort to assist you in figuring things out for yourself. It will give you all the assistance you need, but it won't do it for you. Never. Because that would be a crime. It would be unthinkable, because it would rob you of the chance to acquire awareness. You can't steal somebody's awareness. You can't do this. So if you do things for them, you rob them of the opportunity of acquiring awareness of them by themselves. That's not cool. That's not cool at all. And you don't help them. You actually make them dependent on you. So the universe will never give you all the answers. It will always give you enough for you to figure it out and put it together and come to awareness for yourself. It will give you clues and hints and suggestions and tips and prompts, and sometimes it'll give you a shove and a kick up the backside, but it will never do it for you. It cannot. It will be robbing you of your growth, your journey, your path to awareness. So yeah, can't do it. So just be aware of that. Yes, it's always there looking out for you, but the same token, we can trust in the universe, but our trust is based on impeccability, which means, beside best use of energy, it also means that we are doing everything that we can do. We are being diligent, we are being thorough, we are being scrupulous, we are being conscious. We're not leaving anything to chance. We're doing all of our research. We're figuring it out. We're doing all the work that we can, right? We're not being lazy and just saying, oh, I'm going to trust the universe. It doesn't work that way. You have to be doing something. You can only trust the universe when you've done everything that you can do. Then you can say, I've been impeccable. I've done everything I can do. There's no more to do. The only one thing I got left is trusting the universe. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Well,
our
that
trust is
goes
not an
into
ordinary trust. That's capital T trust, and capital T trust is based on impeccability.
Okay.
It's very important. Very, very, very big pointers, because otherwise we can get into that wishful thinking mode. And you see people that go around, Sedona's full of them. Oh, I trust the universe, and they don't do bugger all. And of course, it doesn't always work out, and then they wonder why, then they make up some BS story and all this. So
Well, that's
Sedona's a
actually one of
fantastically
my
magical place for just seeing BS. It's quite genius.
Yeah, I've noticed.
Yeah, it's like the
But that
capital
is
of the
one of
world
my
for spiritual
questions.
BS. You go to Washington, you get political BS, and you go to like New York, you might get business BS, and LA, you get entertainment BS. But Sedona, spiritual BS, right there. Lots of it. Lots of it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you've seen a lot of it.
Yeah. But
But
again,
that
it
is
is what it is. It's just BS of a different form. I see other kind of BS like workplace BS. You go corporate America, it's full of it. So it's a paradigm. So that's why we have that separate course. The psychology of the superiority paradigm. It's all about BS and all of how it translates, and its extreme forms like narcissism and all that. So yeah. But again, we have to use it to learn, not to use it to see, oh, the world's a messed up place. No, it's a giant school. It's a school for awareness. And when we see it that way, then we just have more upon more upon more, and it's a magical place to live in. It's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Really
okay.
beautiful.
Yeah, I had one of those questions here.
Oh, good.
But I'll just finish. Yeah, let me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just keep going. Just keep going. Go through it.
Oh, I just had one more takeaway. No one will believe us or want what we have if we are not examples of joy and peace and self-confidence. No matter what state we are in, if we exemplify inner peace and radiant joy and trust both our own power and the universe, all will work out for good. Therefore, be at peace and enjoy.
Exactly. So in other words, the best form of doing good is to be good.
It's to be good.
So be what you want to be. Other people's opinions are irrelevant. When you are who you want to be, you are your fullness, your moreness, your real self. You got your stuff together. You are being happy and joyful. Not just happy and joyful, but also trusting in yourself, confident in yourself, empowered in yourself. All of these things. This is all of the qualities that go into being a spirit warrior or to have an independence of being. So you can lose that. You don't have to use the term spirit warrior. Of course, it's up to you. We just use it because it's convenient to identify our way of thinking here in the context of the program, somebody who is making an effort to do something for themselves. They are looking to polish their spirit, to refine their spirit, to connect more to spirit, to enhance their own spirit, to maximize their own spirit, right? To empower their own spirit. And they'll be a warrior about it, because a warrior is somebody who's strategic and is willing to fight for what's important for them. And our spirit, our own inner spirit, this is vitally important, right? Whether you believe in a greater spirit or not, that's irrelevant. That's why we like the term spirit warrior, because it applies purely internally if you believe in no spirituality. But if you do believe in spirituality, then you say, okay, I'm going to connect my spirit to the greater spirit, and that's my task. So first I have to get my spirit sorted, then I can and see about connecting it to greater spirit, you see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
that's but we are warriors for this. This is something we're prepared to make a lot of effort for, or saying in another way, to fight for, right? We are prepared to struggle for this, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. You see, our spirit warrior comes to apply here. It has nothing to do with the superiority or being better or worse than others. We couldn't get two hoots. You might think a spirit warrior is the lowest thing in the planet. Okay, fine. I don't care. It's totally irrelevant to me. I don't see it as better or worse. I simply see it as necessary. I need to be a spirit warrior. If not, well, or your personal equivalent. We need to be this. Otherwise, what are we? And you just kind of a leaf blowing in the wind, you see, and just like taking it as it comes or whatever, So we want to say, no, I'm actively doing something, because if I don't do anything, nothing happens, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. Context.
right. I mean, you see a lot of people in Sedona specifically who just, I trust in the universe and all this stuff, and I have faith, blah, and what comes of it? They stay the same people. They don't really change. They don't grow. They don't learn. They adapt. Yeah.
Well, I don't want to be one of those people. I'm
Exactly.
actively trying to
Exactly.
make things
Exactly.
better in my own life, in
Exactly.
the world,
Exactly.
in my
Exactly.
soul's journey, so that next time
Exactly.
it's different. But at this,
Exactly.
you know,
Exactly.
how do I know that progress is actually being made? That's a question.
That is a good question. Now, for that, we are going to look at progression. We are constantly going to be looking at the me of now and the me of then, and look at the difference. That's how you know progression is there. Look at your daily life and say, am I in a space where I'm achieving what I want to achieve? Am I relating? Am I being happy? Am I being positive? Am I being empowered? Am I trusting myself? Am I being confident? All of the stuff, that's how you know where you are. Keep seeing if you are enjoying who you are and where you are, if you're struggling or not struggling. That's it. And I don't know, I
With
mean, yeah,
attitude, with
everything.
moods,
Attitude,
or
mood, mindset, everything, psychology, emotions, feelings, every single way.
but
Every single way.
internally, not
In,
externally.
you will look at external effects too, like, okay, at some point or another, you hopefully, that's why I was recommending for you to say to your parents and your children and everything, look, hey, I'm starting over, and I want your help in this. Ask for their help, so that they will support you at least for a time where you can do the stuff. That might not be indefinite, but as you get your stuff sorted internally, then you will be able to go and deal with external stuff, and you know where you want to be, what you want to do, and then you can pursue some path that is a financial path or whatever. But first get your stuff sorted and have the space to get your own internal stuff sorted. So internal first, external second, if you can. Now, we don't always have that luxury, but since you at least have some time to do it now, at least until you finish the program, so yeah, yeah. Very powerful, very powerful. You are a spirit warrior, Elizabeth. Very profound one. Very cool. You're in the
Oh,
fight.
thank you.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, so the task was to ask a bunch of questions, and I have a bunch of questions.
Ah, brilliant. Listening, listening, listening. Are you listening, Beena?
Um,
Yes.
Ah, we like questions.
Yeah.
okay. And they're not, I don't know, they're just simple questions, but I was just writing them down as they.
It's no such thing.
Why do humans act like they know everything? How can I be different without seeming like a naive child? How can I leverage humility to my advantage?
All right. It's fairly simple answer in one word: sobriety.
Hmm.
Right. Now, when we have real profound sobriety, and I'm talking about in the biggest sense, of course, not nothing to do with alcohol here, right? Sobriety is a positive super sensibility, and it's also very serious, right? So we are very serious about positively being super sensible. This is sobriety, right? Now, take sobriety to its maximum. Your sobriety says to you, what is the most sensible thing you can do? Be joyful, right? But
Okay.
just in a general context in the world around you, when you encounter people and you are sober, and part of the mood of sobriety, we can say, if you want an attitude or a mindset, be earnest. That's it. So if I'm earnest and I'm saying, I'm looking around, what's my position? What's my perspective? Say, I understand there's things going on. I understand there's nonsense in the world. I understand there's rubbish in the world. But I'm choosing to focus on the things that I need. That means I'm not making an effort to pay attention to this nonsense, but not because I'm naive, but because I choose to focus on what's important to me. And I'm very earnest about what's important to me. So just be sober and just be earnest, and that will take care of the problems of naivety or ignorance. It will help you tremendously. Okay? And again, just be openly humble. Say, I know I don't know stuff, but I also know that I do know some stuff.
What is sobriety again? How did you
A
define
a
it?
a positive, serious, sincere, super sensibility. Positive, serious, sincere, super sensibility. In the overall, I'll add that also there. In the overall, it's an overview mindset. So you can say it's like sobriety is like looking at like sort of sensibility from a universal perspective, from a world perspective, from a spiritual perspective.
Okay. Yeah, sometimes this is something that comes up a lot in how I'm feeling, because I don't want to seem like I know, because I don't know, but
Right,
sometimes I do know a little more
right,
than
right. So exactly,
how
but
I'm
now
letting
you
on, but
right,
others will take advantage of me
right,
because they think I don't know or that I'm stupid,
right,
but I'm
right.
I'm not. I'm just being humble.
Exactly. All right. So there is something in that it came up before. So we do a few things to deal with this. We trust without trusting, we believe without believing, and we accept without accepting.
Yeah.
Right. So,
Right.
which means that you come to me and you have whatever scheme that you want me to do, or whatever, or let's say I go on a date, right? And the person is like, oh, they just want to get, okay, wow, I trust without trusting that, let's say they giving off this vibe and saying, oh, I really like you and whatever. Okay, I'll trust that, but I also do so without trusting. As it may or may not be true. I'm going to act as if it's true, knowing it might not be. Trusting without trusting, which means I don't commit until I know more. Right?
Okay. Okay.
All right. So a visual analogy for this, or example of this, it's like when the zebra or the wildebeest or whatever, the deer, they go down to the watering hole and the lions are right there. Have you seen the documentaries where they show this?
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But the lions have eaten and they kind of chill, and the zebra can see, oh, they're not in hungry mode now, they're not in hunting mode, right? So they go and drink.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but
Mm-hmm.
so they're coming way closer to those lions than they'll ever come in normal circumstances, right? They are trusting without trusting, because there's a certain space that they'll come closer, but there's a line. I call it a commitment line between how close they would come, right? In that
Yes.
line, they will not cross no matter how thirsty they are, because that line is the line where if the lion decided to attack them, they would not be able to get away. They would have no chance of getting away. They committed once they cross that space, that distance, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
this is the key point, right? So they trust without trusting, but they don't cross that commitment line.
Like
See?
the event horizon.
Exactly. They don't cross that event horizon, because once they're there, then it's game over. no matter what. And even a lion that's not hungry, if you come that close, well, it's not going to, give up a freebie, right? They may not want to make the effort, but if it's not been given to them as a gift, well, no effort, okay, right? So this is what we want to do in everything in life. Don't cross that event horizon. Understand where it is, and you say, okay, I trust you, but I'm not committed. Yeah, I can leave at any time until I know more. You know, then you can go into it more. So again, when it comes to what people say, you can believe them, but at the same token say, well, to yourself at least, I'm not sure about this, but I'll believe without believing. And you can even say to people, say, oh, that's very interesting. I believe without believing.
Well, this has to do with another question. Where did it go? I am afraid of not being impeccable with others, or by spending time with others who are maybe not impeccable. Or time management, but my intent is good. So who judges?
You.
Yeah, I know it. I know it's me, but like, do I spend time with others who I think are not impeccable, or not?
You can if you do so knowingly, and if you do so, all right. So let's say you got a very sensible, very you got a spirit warrior zebra, and it says, you know what, I'm going to kind of choose to hang around that waterhole. I'm not going to cross that commitment line. However, I'm going to deliberately kind of be near the line. Okay, so the line of, they're not hungry, not chill anymore, and they're starting to get hungry. And the zebra says, oh, okay, I'm going to use them to kind of stimulate me. And, even if they chase me around, at least I'm going to get fit. You see, they use the lion, they're in charge. Even though the lion's chasing them, hey, the lion's helping me do my exercise. Fantastic. Thank you, lion. The lion's helping me stay aware. The lion's helping me stay alert. The lion's helping me be cautious. The lion's helping me be sensible. Fantastic, right? So go into it knowingly, knowing what you're doing. Go into it with this understanding that you're there to learn, right? Learn things, not, I don't mean fact things, but learn awareness, learn how to deal with difficult people, learn how not to be roped in and be forced into commitments, and learn how to say no when you want to say no. Learn how to not even be in that position where you're getting forced to say no, where people don't even bother to ask you because they just see, well, you're not a sucker. So it's about awareness. So just go into those things deliberately. Use it. Yeah, people who are unimpeccable are great learning tools. Fantastic learning tools. Yeah. But believe without believing, trust without trusting, accept without accepting. Add all of those into your dictionary of power.
Okay.
Yeah. So trust without trusting.
I think I do have that in there. Yeah.
That's okay. You can put it in again. You can always, solve it later. So.
Yeah, I do have trust.
So did you have believe without believing?
I do. Mm-hmm.
And accept without accepting is the other one. There's probably another one that I can't think of right now, but you can make your own.
Okay, another question. Let's see. I have like 2 pages, so then nothing too great.
It says you. We don't
well,
know that. We might feel differently, by the way. I mean, you're making up our minds for us by saying that.
Oh, I'm just right, because I know that we're running out of time, so I'm trying to look at which ones do I actually want an answer to.
No, start from the top. If we run out of time, we'll carry on next week. Don't worry about it.
All right, I'll just go through them, and then because some of these
important.
I already have, some answers too, so I'll just whiz through them. But some of them I really
don't whiz
do
through
want
them. Take them seriously. These questions are very important. I want to hear them all. I want to hear them all.
Why is being full of joy sometimes the opposite of what I feel? If joy is all there is left to do, what can I do to break the pattern and build stronger joy in me? I think that has to do with like affirmations and just rewiring my brain.
Right. Okay. So be careful of affirmations.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm just saying be careful, because we can kind of fool ourselves into thinking that you know, if I just say it over and over enough, it's going to change me. Well, it doesn't work that way for everybody. Now, it might do, but I seldom see this actually having a real thing. So when you are not feeling the joy, it's because of a belief of some kind. So when you're feeling unhappy, ask yourself, what do I believe at this moment in time? When you are not
Okay.
feeling joy, ask yourself, what is it that you believe, right?
Okay.
And write down all your beliefs at that moment. What is it that you're believing? You believe the world sucks. You believe that there's no hope. You believe that you're terrible. You believe that you're a nincompoop. You believe that you're hopeless. You believe you're walking around on your head. I don't know. All sorts of beliefs that people believe, right? Then the next thing
Yeah.
you do once you've written down all your beliefs is you ask the question, based on what? Of each belief, you say, based on what? But first write all the beliefs down and then go through them one by one and say, based on what?
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
All right. Then there's another thing you can do, and we're going to come to it a little bit later. But you can ask yourself, why do I choose this?
Why do I choose this?
Yeah. Actually, I want to leave on that point.
Okay.
And we carry on right from here next time. Because that right there, if you do this and really practice it and apply it, you're going to have a huge, massive transformation.
Okay.
So it's a really good point to leave off because it's a something to do. So really apply that. I mean, take this very seriously and go and do that and see. It's a massive habit shift. Keep in mind, remember when we started, we said habit. Habit is our big enemy. So right there was the answer to your question too, right?
Right.
It's not only belief, but habit also. Habit is a real enemy because we can take off those beliefs, but habit will cause us to do things that we don't believe in simply because of habit. Yeah? Doesn't make any sense sometimes, habit. We do stupid things because of habit. So just
Yeah.
know that's likely your answer there, but you gotta go into it a little bit and explore it. So
Okay.
take that question that we answered on and
Okay.
just
That's
that
a
one
great
question.
question. Okay.
Answer it yourself though. This is your
Mm-hmm.
task, right? Beside the carrying on and doing things and doing the gift of doubt. Now do the gift of doubt as you would a session, in the same way. Do repeat backs on it, takeaways, the whole thing, right? But your other task here is to answer that question that you asked now. Answer it yourself as best you can as you go through. Until next time, keep thinking of how you can answer your own question, all right?
Okay.
And beside that, when you do encounter that, then you say, what am I believing? And note down all the different beliefs, not just one, but as many as you can, because usually there's more than one. And then say, based on what? Yeah. And then
Okay.
say, why am I choosing this mood? We're going to get into mood management in a later session. So very good.
Okay.
Very cool. Brilliant. Brilliant. Brilliant.
All
Look at
right.
that. Perfect timing. You see, perfect timing. Perfect timing. Beena, you have
Okay.
anything to add? We'll pretend we're on TV. Beena said,
No, I
you
was
have
just
60
listening.
seconds to wrap it up, please. Thank you.
No, it's all good and it's very interesting, and I'm really looking forward to for the next session
Yes.
with
Yes.
Elizabeth and see and discuss what will come.
Yes.
So
Yes.
interesting.
Thank you,
And
Beena.
Elizabeth, when you were mentioning about people might assume you are a bit naive and you are not sharing your perspective, and we have a very profound concept, and we will discuss it in our next session about that being a childish or naive and all these things, and why to care about other people's opinion, how it
Mm.
matters in your life.
Yeah.
So we will discuss it.
Excellent. 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 All right. Just in time. We got to go to commercial.
Okay. Thank you.
Pleasure, Elizabeth. Pleasure. Pleasure.
Have a
We got to have fun. We got to have fun. Yes.
Okay.
Bye-bye, Elizabeth. So
See you
brilliant.
next
Brilliant. Brilliant.
time.
Yeah. See you
Bye-bye.
next time. See you next time. See you on Wednesday at 10 o'clock also, right? Oh, okay. Guess so.